Well, the bitrate things will already be a mess. I'm quite impressed. But no one else is in town, so this shouldn't be having this much of a problem. I don't know what's going on there. Well, hopefully we'll recover over the next little while. Okay. Maybe it's okay. Yeah, but this game should be a lot less stressful on the bitrate than Hellblade was. And as usual, I'll get started at about the 5-minute mark, so about 2 minutes from now. Still getting frame drops though, so hopefully that fixes itself. It's been slowly climbing back up, just not very quickly. I wish I had any idea of what to do to improve the bitrate further. Does not seem to be in my control, and my internet is supposed to be plenty strong enough. Wow, lots of viewers already. Okay. How's everyone doing? Everyone having a good day? And you know what, let's get started now-ish. So we're picking up with Banner Saga, where we left off from the last one. It's been a while since we played this, few weeks, but... well, we get to see the ending of this to catch us up again.
None of us expected to see a city unscathed, but what we find steals the very breath from my lungs.
So yeah, where we left off last time, we met the Mender Eyvind and Haukon and his group. Made it to Grofheim to find that it got completely razed. So now we pick up with Rook and Alette and Ivar way over here in Frostvellr, and we're gonna try and escape from more Dredge. So, Eketlir. What did I tell you, Rook? The man has a crazed look about him. He stands, axe pointed in your direction, on the other side of a dozen men. Eketlir, you son of a bitch. Remember what I said? Think carefully about what you want. This is what you get. Eckert walks away, leaving you to deal with these thugs. Well, last room we also got 2 of our guys killed, which sucks, but we've got lots of renown for everyone, so we will do our best to make sure that this goes okay for us. We're just gonna upgrade some stats here. If you guys don't remember, or are just this is the first time saying this, our 5 stats here are the amount of armor we have, the amount of strength we have, which strength is also HP, the amount of morale we have, the amount of morale we can use on any given action, and then the amount of armor break we can do. I think we'll promote Eber, because Eber is incredibly good, and we need his bulk right now. And we'll save the rest of it, because we need that renown for other things. Yeah. Here we go again. More of the same. And dealing with more bandits. This is... oh gosh, not a good situation for us. Well, I'm going to lose an achievement this time, because I'm going to need Alette to stay alive. And she's going to have to shoot people, which she doesn't want to do. So... I've got these guys in their shield wall. They can reach too far. So we'll have Ael go keep everyone alive there. Who did she shoot? Oh. Well, that's no big deal. No big deal at all. Okay then. What are your abilities? Battering ram. That one's not so useful. And he can finally deal damage to... no? He still cannot deal damage to me. Okay. Thread the needle hits all units between the... but... Ael should absorb that. So... I think. But he absorbs that too. Okay. So that's actually not useful. Dang. That's alright. That is totally alright. We can mark prey on this guy. I will just do 1 break damage there. And that should be enough to very much kill him. Well, that's no big deal. I like how these guys don't actually have any sort of armor to speak of in their designs. They're pretty much just wearing exact right tunics. Oh boy. And doing their thing. And I think... Cool. For some reason, he did not attack the person that it would make sense to attack. Oh, that's why. Okay, Eva went down. I wish I had any idea why these guys were doing what they're... or acting the way they are, because they're not attacking my archers like I thought they would. Sure, now they do it. And we just took out all these guys with only 1 casualty. So that's not too bad. Not too bad at all. But structurally, like, this scene makes some amount of sense in some kind of like Saga narrative, which is kind of cool. They're just able, the idea of underlings of the main antagonist, whoever that is, existing, having a fight with the protagonists is very standard. Oh, and Leander, the reason they dropped on the last 2 streams is that I finished talking, and I clicked end stream on OBS, assuming that it would finish transmitting the information to Twitch, but the delay was so great that OBS just kind of gave up and assumed the stream was probably over, and so the stream actually ended before I finished talking. It's very weird. I now know to just wait until it catches up. And that gives like 30 seconds of dead time at the end of the stream. Uh-huh. This guy has a very nice mustache. Like, that's really all I can say about him. Like, that helmet design is very much 9th century. And even earlier. The piece helmet there. And that mustache is Burgundian, so, like, super popular, like, 5th through 8th centuries. And so all the characters in Volsunga Saga are actually supposed to have very impressive mustaches like this. So Onef is very stylish. The peak performance. Also, I want to look at the map again here because this is a weird reference. I can talk about Wales in Iceland in a moment because I know quite a bit about that, but just saying like a narwhal is weird. I'll show you why on the map. So we can't go south because there's Dredge there, so we're going to go across the wastes. So, chat, what do you guys think I should do? Onaf here is saying we can take on, we can go find Eket's supplies, and possibly some extra fighters. But at the same time, that's more fighting, and that could be quite risky for us. Well, Antonio, you say that it's a me Sigurd, but I mean, the Ostrogoths, who are some of the people that Sigurd was like based on, Burgundians and Ostrogoths, wound up in Italy, so like, you're not wrong. Theodoric of Verona, the Roman emperor, according to one Norse narrative, Sigurd wound up working for him for a while. So what do we think? Should we do it, or should we just get the hell out of this death trap of a town? No. Do it? Alright, we're doing this. Ivor has the right attitude. I want Ails to survive, so I'm gonna lay off this guy as soon as I get a chance. Okay, we got 9 days of supplies. That's not a lot. Oh cool, we just got 80 supplies, which is now 22 days, so for free, which is pretty good. Yeah, because right now we don't want to be spending that on. Do not want to be spending these resources on our getting food, because 1 food for 1 renown is a terrible deal. Let's do will per kill. Cool, we're actually gonna give him that. We have Onef here, but he's a backbiter. So he can run through people and then stab them from behind. But he also has a shield, which means he can do a shield wall with all other infantry. But we've now got this, so I'm actually going to do this so Ale can take a lot of punishment. Because that's his main job, is just to take as much punishment as he can. Armor plus 1 strength plus 1 will. Awesome. Plus 2 will per kill. Well, you have. We'll do that instead. Well, I can have that one. Cool. Let's get out of town. Here we go again. So we're crossing the waste here, so actually, yeah, let's take a look at this map. See where we're going, what's going on. Hope the game doesn't crash. There we go. So, we're going through Sutherland. and the Nordfetling Wastes. The Nordfetlings were not always wastes. At one time, a lake sprawled for hundreds of miles until the land cracked beneath it and the water drained over generations, leaving a featureless, frozen desert. Within, curious explorers found the remains of the godstone Radomir. I wondered how it got there. We're trying to get to Wormtoe. But Frostvellr here is nowhere close to the sea. I mean, here at Bull Harbor, kind of, but it took us like 3 weeks to get from here to here. So, not quite so easy. Well, no, it wasn't taking us that long. A week or two? So still, not close. So saying like a narwhal is kinda weird. There's another reason it's weird though. In the Middle Ages, they actually knew about narwhals, and knew they had horns, and thought that they were really awful to eat. So you wouldn't split one open because there's no point. According to Konung's Skuksio, or the King's Mirror, an encyclopedia of just classical and Scandinavian knowledge designed for a king as education, it wound up being said quite explicitly that we'll camp one day. We have the days for food. Wound up being said quite explicitly. Does this actually do anything? I don't remember. That the narwhal is one of... No, it's not. Doesn't. Okay. Can I not do this though? I just want to... Fine. I want not. Anyway, it's one of several that it's a... Okay, then we'll just get out of here right away, because I have no reason to do training now. It was said that it's one of a few species of whales that was poisonous to eat and would just kind of screw you over. Okay. So we get a new person, I guess. We've got the happy old man. That's alright. Looks like we're coming up on a godstone soon. Okay, so Ekkert's chasing us. So we're actually going to try and work things out peacefully. Because I don't like him enough. And Eckert doesn't seem to be interested in fighting us. And Alette just has a very good point here. He did try to kill us. By the way, do you guys want me to actually read these out loud? I know some of you kind of listen to it in the background, so I'm happy to read these out in the background if you want me to, but it's definitely not in my nature something I remember to do on my own. So if you guys want me to, just let me know and I'll start doing that. Meanwhile, I do like this axe design. Having a group in it like that is not right, but the rest of the sizing actually matches axes that we found, including ones given by Jarl Erikur Blood-Axe. Though, amusingly, while the axe he gave as a gift was really pretty and had like gold and silver inlays, the actual iron was not very good, so it's actually not a very good axe in terms of use. It's designed to be a status symbol, which is very, very, very much weird for the Viking Age. Swords were the weapon that is a status symbol. Axes are multi-purpose, so you end up treating them as both wood axes, war weapons, and whatever other purposes you need. So splitting wood, splitting heads, same difference. A sword is not good for splitting wood. It's pretty much only for splitting heads. It's not even good for breaking bones. So swords are the ultimate status symbol. So a weird, not very good axe with gold inlay is turning a tool into a status symbol, which is kind of cool. And Ekit here has a point. We seem to be awfully special to a lot of people. Yeah, I mean, Antonio, yes, a sword can do. A sword is good at killing people. A sword is really bad at anything that's not killing people efficiently. Actually, even for like breaking bones for any supposed need for a ritual sacrifice. A sword is usually not a good weapon for that. You need something smaller, more specialized. So that's why it's a status weapon. You're spending a lot of resources to get something with very limited daily utility. And in fact, it does that very carefully so that you're showing off. It's a status economy, it's a display economy, and owning a sword, even a bad sword, is a way to show off your status. And Eckert just wants to survive. So we're actually going to let him join, I think. This is going to go weird, but yeah. He seems... well, he's not acting like a crazy person, so we'll let him join. Yep, I'm sure we're going to hear complaints about this, but this is a choice I've not made before, so I'll be curious. Main problem is we've got a lot of fighters now, and so not a lot of days of work. So, let's take a look at it. We should have something coming up soon. There we go, we're at the Godstone. Hey look, it's the Godstone of a snake. So, you find a surprising number of people camped out at the Godstone. They've been here quite a while, ever since the sun stopped. Apparently they think Radomir, the sun god, has come back, and are worshipping him despite the bleak environment. They welcome the caravan, mingling and swapping stories with the others while you rest. They have almost nothing of value to trade, but their leader approaches and offers to let you join in their tribute. Welcome, Fury, one says, showing you a golden liquid in a silver bowl. He places some on his chest, which almost sounds like it's sizzling, and explains through clenched teeth it's a gift from the sun god, an oil that burns like the sun and lets them, quote, see things clearly. So we can decline. We can decline and take a look at that Godstone. We can see if anyone else is interested, or we can try it ourselves. Some kind of ritual like this would be possible, but I don't think there's any attested directly in the Viking Age. This is definitely derived straight out of shamanism, and I mean some variation of psychedelic rituals or other sort of rituals that are supposed to take you into or grant you access into another world. And this is sometimes done through hallucinogens, especially in like Siberian shamanism. That's quite well attested, as in obviously New Age stuff likes to do with some Native American rituals. What is it, alfalfa rituals tend to have the same kind of purpose. But in terms of exact parallels to this, to anything in Scandinavia, this seems like it's a fantasy construction. But I'm all for fantasy constructions, so we're going to try it. So we have more oil, which is interesting. But in a very modernist approach, it fails to do anything. So let's take a look at that Godstone. Nobody can really agree on what Radomir looked like, as fond as he was of his own isolation. He never directly contacted humanity. Most think he was a serpent that lived in the sun. It's not uncommon to hear speak of seeing the tail of a great creature slipping through the thin clouds on a sunny day. Radomir was always one of the lucky gods, the kind people thanked for good weather, healthy livestock, and a good harvest. And despite all that, the biggest mystery has always been how his Godstone came to be found at the bottom of a dried-out lake. So, I don't have any reference to what this name was, though Mir is cognate with the English word Meyer. Well, let me actually pull out my dictionary real quick and see if it's actually a Norse translation or if it's a complete fictional word. Do-do-do. My instinct is that this is... Wait, sorry, too far away from the microphone there. My instinct is that this is actually a Slavic sounding, or slightly Slavic sounding fantasy name, and not actually having reference to any real Norse words. Ralph. Rat. Rat. Yeah, that's not there. Mir or Miri is the Icelandic word for mire or swamp, so possibly some kind of reference to being in the lake, but really I think there's just a fictional name. Being a sun snake is interesting, since the Chaos Camp myth pretty much always refers to a snake that's opposed to the sun, so this is kind of an inversion of the Chaos Camp. Cool, we got an item for our troubles. And yeah, we can see that there is a giant snake. It looks like in that one is eating the spiral of the sun, so much more of a direct reference to the Chaos Camp than is the case from seeing the Godstone described. So we have vultures. And the leaf is trying to shoot them all, which is actually fair. She's clearly going a little bit stir-crazy from the wastelands, but that seems reasonable. This is not a pleasant environment. We'll let her get out some aggression. And now she has the great idea of trying to train the women to be archers. This is definitely a case where we are going against Saga narratives. Usually, this is... encouraging her to do this would be very anachronistic for most Norse narratives, and really like something that's very poorly tested historically, even if you completely accept the recent reports of now another supposedly finding another grave of a female warrior in Norway, in addition to the one at Birka. Even then, we're looking at a couple from the Viking Age, so this is definitely anachronistic. That being said, there is one story from Njal Saga of a involving a woman and a bow, and this is the death of Gunnar of Hlíðarendi. Gunnar was one of the most noble men in Iceland, as far as there were directly noblemen. But we're gonna rest one more day here. And let's take a look at our new item. Anyway, Gunnar, for killing two members of the same family, eventually got outlawed from Iceland, which is pretty much just I don't want to do that. I mean, that's just an industry improvement for Eivor, so why should you do that? Okay. So he gets outlawed, and rather than leaving the country like he intended to, he just decides to not, and try and just deal with it and live at home and pretend he's not outlawed. This goes poorly for him, and he ends up getting attacked. He's defending his hall with a bow, and then well, we'll stop and look for survivors. And when he gets attacked, he's defending his hall with a bow. And he's doing pretty well. He's like 1 against, I think it's 18. And he's winning. And then his bowstring breaks. And he tells his wife, Hargerder, who has very long hair, lend me a strand of your hair so that we can use that as a bowstring. Earlier in the saga, he had gotten mad at her for stealing food and committing arson, and had slapped her. And she was like, nah, no, I won't do that. Which is ends up getting him killed and is spoken of very, very badly. Well, the morale is looking terrible. Crossing the wastes was troubling. But we've made it to Wemto, so we're going to be okay, and we're trying to meet Krumer. Now, earlier in the game, we heard that the Scrivener was possibly only the second oldest. This guy's the one competing for him. Or, well, one of the other two competing for him. Very, very old for a Varl. And he thinks he's probably close to 1,000 years old, but we'll see how he does. And here, well, this is not the name that Ivar has. He's using a different name here. Amusingly, while it seems like in this game Ingvar and Ivar are both acceptable names, hence why he's able to change it, they're actually the same name. Ivar, which in modern Scandinavian becomes Ivar, is in very early Old Norse is Ingvar, which we see, I think I've mentioned this story before, but in the Thautar of Ragnarssona about the sons of Ragnar Lodbrok, Ivar Beinlois is said in that short tale to have a brother named Ingvar who leads the Great Heathen Army in the middle of the 9th century. It's referring to the same person, and the saga author seems to have just not known that Ingvar and Ivar are the same name, just with some linguistic changes. Well, so apparently the Dredge have not made it here, so yeah. But we have food, and Ivar seems to be respected enough that we're going to be okay. So, I want to go north and find what's happened at Blodsbalker. Or to Grovheim. And no one wants us here, which is great. Absolutely great. Blodsbalker. As well, let me check what Balker is. I suspect it's a word for mountain, which means that those will be the mountain of blood. But it may also be a fake word. Yep, it's a fake word. But I would suspect it's actually if it's from anywhere, then it's obviously trying to sound Norse. It may be derived kind of from Balkan. Anyway, Antonio, you mentioned Frey about you mean Frey this Eiríksdóttir, who is not a badass, is completely psycho, who murdered several people, and she actually never got into a fight. Never got into a fight, just tried to scare off some Skraelings by verbal abuse and attempted self-harm. And then proceeded to murder her companions to steal their gold. So, yeah, not the ideal role model here. The better one there, although is also not played well, is Hever, Angatyrsdottir. But she's arrogant and ends up getting a lot of people killed for her arrogance. So generally, well, women who take up arms in Norse literature are not treated well. Gender equality in the Viking Age is fake. Well, Rook is trying his best though, trying to pitch and trying to make the place livable. Wow. So be it. Oh, something interesting that I didn't mention on previous streams. The design on Ivor's horns here, which looks like it's engraved, not naturally present, is the design of an arm ring or a torque, which is one of the most common pieces of jewelry tested in the Viking Age. Usually it was made out of gold, sometimes out of silver. So that's just a cool little bit of aesthetic designs. This game looks so pretty. And Jorundur. Well, I'm sorry, but you're gonna go a lot farther. Oh, Leander asks, that's something I want to ask you about in CK2, but Norse start with the agnatic inheritance rules, meaning women can inherit if there are no male candidates. That's correct. Additionally, women keep property in the case of divorce. They keep their dowry. They'll end up returning to their family, but technically that property is theirs, legally. In practice, tended to get re-co-opted by the family, but yeah, so technically, like, compared to medieval Italy, they had rights, but that's setting the bar extremely low. So, yeah, in practice, Norse culture was just as misogynistic as the rest of Europe. It's just we have a few more surviving myths that led some hopeful people to declare it differently. But the actual evidence in the sagas and in the law codes is really, really bad, and really does not indicate that there's a whole lot of in practice rights. It's just anything's better than the rest of the and then what the rest of medieval Europe was doing. I'm trying to remember any other, like, cases. Yeah, I think that's the best way of putting that. Not good, just not quite as bad. I'm trying to think of any other cases. So, like, the Birka burial, the last year, or 2 years ago, got re-identified as a female grave. Kind of shakes up our paradigm a little bit. But because if that person was respected and was treated as high class, as relatively high class in a warrior society, and identified as female, which the first two are less problematic because of the location and the grave goods buried with her. The identified as a woman, we don't have evidence. You know, trans people exist. May have been trans, we can't identify that from those. So, we'll leave that as a question mark. But that kind of shakes up, means we need to reevaluate things. There's a book coming out in like a month. Yeah, I think it's like April 2nd. It comes out specifically on women in the Viking Age. It's called Valkyrie. It's by Johanna Katrin Friedrichsdottir, who is an amazing scholar, and that's gonna be a really important book. But I'll be able to answer the question a lot better once I get a hold of the copy of that. Oh, and Ark of the Conclave. In this world, the world of Banner Saga here, we have two playable two races that we know of right now that are sentient. We have humans, like Rook here, and we have the Varl. The Varl are giants who are immortal until they're killed and have horns growing out of their heads. From a design point, they're I know actually they said in the developer interview that they knew horned helmets were bad, but they didn't want to completely let go of that imagery because it's kind of stylish. And so they gave the Varl horns as kind of an homage to that. Yeah, these big circle brooches are still definitely more stereotypically women's dress than male dress. So that still is an amusing thing where the aesthetics kind of get in their way. It does look really stylish. Oh yeah, also, another note, I mentioned this on the last stream. That warhammers are not used in the Viking Age at all. Even though Mjolnir exists, hammers are not a weapon that was ever used in the Viking Age. Much less this like two-handed warhammer like this is a late medieval design designed to puncture plate armor. The spike punctures it, the hammerhead actually crushes it. Antonio, you're right. Obviously, there is physiological differences between male and female skeletons. But if this skeleton, which is physiologically and genetically XX chromosome, so genetically female, is of a person who identified as male, that does not get preserved in the bones. So a trans man is not easily distinguishable on just pure genetic information. And so there is just the information we have right now from that first re-identification does not preclude either option. Maybe a female warrior, maybe a trans male warrior. Okay. This is a handy little bit of gameplay advice. Adjacent Dredge, if you deal enough armor break, will deal armor break to all the other Dredge, so you can line them up and knock them all down at the same time. Honestly, it's handy, but it's not that important. And then there's that. So we're getting a little bit of our gameplay tips and exposition. We'll learn why he changed his name soon, but it's kind of a heartbreaking story. Well, that sounds interesting. A dead yaks with whale teeth. So again, like, this is another... Once again, we've got whales. So, whale teeth were absolutely used, as were whale bones. Saga Skallagrímssonar tells of a story where Eir was traveling in northern Norway and came across a sick girl at a farm, and found out the reason why was that she was sick with something, and some guy had come by and was like, I can heal her, I know save her, I will use this whalebone carved with runes, and that will make her better. And it made her way worse, because he screwed up the carving the runes. And so Eir destroyed that, and took a new piece of whalebone and carved the correct runes into it, and through some combination of whalebone being the specific medium, and then the rest of it managed to heal her. We know whalebone was used as decoration, and whale teeth were used as decoration. We've got some artifacts from the late Middle Ages and after the Middle Ages. About whales and carved from whales, though identifying what species it is off of just visually looking at the bones is not possible. There's a really cool project ongoing that is looking at from the refuse bones, so anything that they can access and destroy to do actual genetic testing on, has identified, I think, 16 species of oh boy, I'm gonna have to spend all of the renown on that, because that's not good. Well, I guess we'll do this. Well, that's not I'm worried about getting it all the way to, well, Einartoft with this, but yeah. We seem to have survived here, so, well, let's take a look at Crewman, actually. I think we've got him already. Yeah, we do. This guy's cool. So, yeah, he gets to rearrange the initiative order, which is pretty powerful. And like Haukon, when he hits someone, they do a lot. He deals a lot of pain. Also, lots of armor, lots of strength. So he's someone we like it kind of in the back row. Not all the way in the back row, but pretty close. We'll actually rearrange the whole team a bit. Maybe I move Ivor up. Leave Rook there. No. Yeah, but that should be close. That should be close enough. And we'll make him hit harder. It'll be fun. Sadly. Yeah, we know we can give him more. And we'll do that, I guess. Good times. We cannot do training, so we will leave. So, we are heading out from Wormtow towards Grofheim. Though, well, we got a few more supplies, but still don't have a whole lot of days worth. Well, I need to get in fights. I need to get in fights because I want to get some of these people to level up a bit, get some more renown. So, we're going to take a look at what we've got here and get more fights in. Cool, lots of archers here, which is great news for us. Okay, let's do it. We can either attack there, or we cannot, and we can instead just stonewall. We should absorb basically everything they've got. And this is fun. We can shield wall, and we can just instantly kill this person. Huh. Cool. Nice work all around here. And we can just keep going. This fight seems to not be that hard. Luckily a few archers does that. He's already almost dead, so that's no big deal, and we can now kind of ruin this guy's day. Huh. Well, he just absolutely shattered his own armor, which is good for us, bad for him. Well, this guy has... Oh, right, he has a different ability than I thought he did. He can just kind of run in and mess up everyone's day. But, well, we can keep this guy alive quite easily. So, we'll just take on him, leave that guy, do his thing. And we just keep trucking along, taking on these poor dudes. With only 2 left, he's in a lot of trouble. And, well, 3 HP left. 3 HP on the Dream, so... very dead. See if... No, that's not going to work. So we're actually going to have him wait. And then Krumer can get the kill. Which should get Krumer ready for promotion, yep. Yay for a very easy battle. Fighting humans is quite easy, so bandits here are not really the main threat. Oh, we got more food, which actually means we may be able to rest. We may be able to go another day, though. Yeah, we'll go another day. We're close to another Godstone, though, we can see here. But luckily the food is just... we made it through, and we got morale and supplies, and it's good. And now we get the family drama. Yeah, I'm trying to think of more like social roles in the Sagas, because I'm still trying to evaluate how much this game actually reflects Saga narratives and what stereotypes it thinks are needed for a quote-unquote Viking saga. Because if you don't know, in the marketing for this game and the Steam store page, it specifically calls this a Viking saga for Banner Saga 1, 2, and 3, which is quite impressive. And obviously the aesthetic is quite well done. On the edge of the screen here, or on the edge of this banner, you've got these hanging simple brooch pins, which are completely accurate. So obviously there's a lot of influence here, but I'm still not sure how much of this actually draws on actual narratives. Thus far, my opinion seems to be it's not, like hardly at all. It's very much modern sensibilities. And this kind of interaction here, while there are very private scenes, very novel-like scenes, like in Gisla Saga Surson, or Sursonar, I should get my Icelandic grammar correct. There is the way that they interact. So in Gisla Saga Sarson, there's one time where one of the characters, who's Gisli Surson's brother-in-law, overhears the admitting that Gisli had killed his sworn brother who had killed his Gisli's brother-in-law. So, yeah, a complicated train of family problems there. And in that scene, it's very private, and they're talking, and he's like, I'm worried about this, and this is a problem. And his wife's reaction was, well, either we can get a divorce because of this, because I'm not going to betray him. So we can either get a divorce because of this, or everything can be fine. And you can make it clear what you want. And so they climb back into bed because that happened at night, and everything was fine for a little while before Gisli gets outlawed and survives for 12 years as an outlaw. Anyway, so here we're learning a little bit more about Ekith. Ekith had a sister who married Onef, but she died a long time ago. They're still brother-in-laws though, but then Onef left without him. So we'll see. We will see. And it turns out it's right. But he seems to be not very stable. Unfortunately, Onef is still alive, which means I'm kind of worried that Ale is screwed, which I'm not looking forward to. But I know when that's going to be, so we'll have to, well, we'll see. If I have a chance to get Onef killed off before then, I will, but sadly, I think I've lost poor Ale. Well, we'll confront Ekith and see how this goes. And turns out Alette is incredibly wholesome. And then this kind of behavior is, the brothers can survive even if these guys survive. I just got into Frostvellr the wrong way, so Herther and Mother died, which was, or, right, are those their names? Are those their names? And he seems oddly wise. But Alette's role there of helping out with the families, helping out in the background, keeping everything running, keeping essentially, if this is a farm, she's managing the farm and while the higher level stuff is taken care of by Rook. That is how most social gender relations worked in certainly Norse Iceland, Commonwealth period Iceland, but possibly else most places in Scandinavia too. Making sure things, the day-to-day operations functioned and was the wise role, but in this case, since Rook's wife is dead, Alette fills that role, and that is exactly right. While feuding and law cases, border disputes, buying market, slaves, some of that stuff is taken care of by the husband. So that is its little family relationship. And another reason why I say that Norse, certainly Commonwealth Iceland, was as misogynistic as everywhere else in medieval Europe, because any woman who didn't do what Alette is doing is being unwomanly by their standards, and that's inevitably portrayed as a bad thing. So, we finally make it to another Godstone, which is pretty cool. I'm very interested in, like, last stream we talked some about the music and the kind of Heilung, Wardruna kind of drum-heavy chanting, trying to sound very Viking in a horror game. This game, the music is still trying to sound very Viking, but it does it in a very, very different way. Anyway, the Godstone of Marek looms into view, upon it carved a great ocean beast. Jagged stones jut out of the snow like shark fins. It's hard to imagine the Nordfetling wastes being full of water at one time, but the Godstone stands as a reminder of the vast lake it used to look across. "A blessing," shouts one of the men in your caravan, holding up what looks like a silver coin. "It's a fish scale," he says, pointing out the rainbow pattern that shows in the sunlight. Soon, a curious child has found another hiding in the snow, and then a third is discovered. "Perhaps they'll bring us luck," you overhear, and before long, the caravan has become obsessed with gathering the shining scales. We'll let them take their time. It seems to not hurt. Okay. That's 2 full days, which is definitely a problem. You start to wonder if something unnatural has a hold on their minds when the call to leave is met with open aggression. Ivar helps you get them moving again, and you wonder how long they would have kept searching if you had let them. So here, I mean, this is a whale, clearly. This great ocean beast kind of is a mix of like Leviathan and whales. Yeah, Leander, I agree that this is some kind of ballad, either intro music or background music. Cool. And now the women have figured out how to do archery. So they're probably doing an impressive job of hitting the trunks. So, we lose some of the clansmen, and they become fighters instead, which is arguably risky, but also probably good. And the girl we found earlier, Frosta, which is Frost Eye, I think. I mean, it's Oiger is eye, but I think it's either supposed to refer to eye or to the bird. Let's find out what my dictionary says. I saw Oiga. Aika. Okay. So there's a few options. There's like 3 words called oik, or 2 words called oik. One of them is a conjugation saying besides, or it's also equivalent to just ok. Or it's a verb, an irregular verb, to augment or to prolong. So, or maybe to add, so it's someone added by the frost, which is kind of accurate. It could also be like frost eye would also be that. Anyway, the markings here, the squares and circles, could be wagons, including yokes. My line for the yokes leads to deeper gouges. We'll try and talk to her. Edge. So, don't know what happened there, but I want to get into another fight as quickly as I can, because we don't have many days of supplies, and we need more renown to buy supplies. There's another case, as I mentioned. Oh, good. Speaking of fights, the group of Varl who went north. Well, this is not super difficult. We're gonna charge. And if I play well, we're hopefully gonna chase them away. But we've got a lot more fighters than they do, so should be okay. Let me show off the new guy. Fazolt is a provoker, so he has the ability to make people attack him. He also has a return the favor like Ivor does, so they lose an armor every time they attack him. But sadly right now he can only target people he's already next to. So kind of a problem. But in other things he's very good at taking damage, but he's very bad at dealing it, so he's kinda like Ael, but in my opinion worse. So we're not gonna use him. We're gonna keep this team going and hopefully things go well for us. Loading screens. Oh, this is not as many dredges as I thought we would face. Okay, this guy has a ton of armor. This guy, well, every time we hit him, he's gonna run away, which sucks, but otherwise, not too bad. No one's here that is that strong, so let's see, we can have Ael here to run forward and exist. And we'll set Alette up somewhere. Alette is the one I'm most worried about falling, because she is not in such a good place with all these slingers. She's really dangerous against some of these guys, but is really not useful against all these slingers. So hopefully, we can make sure that she stays out of range. And he should run away, which keeps him out of the fray. Yep. Wow, that hit so hard. Okay. We'll buff up his armor, and then we'll wait. Who's up next? Oh, he's up next. That's not so bad. Well then. That's the one back there. Okay, so we've got a little bit of time here. We'll run up there, and we can attack this guy and completely cripple him. But that's gonna... Oh, he used... Well, we slowly walk closer. Ah, that stops him from using morale. Okay. That's not such a big deal. Oh, that's not the right button. Yeesh. This is kind of risky, but hopefully we can do the shield break. Can we still stonewall? We can stonewall. Let's see what our options are here. Nope, since we can't do enough shield break to make these guys splinter. So instead we'll just do a big stonewall to keep Egil up. Oh goddammit. And you can't reach now, which sucks, but that's alright, we can definitely crush this guy. And he's gonna attack Rumor for quite a bit. Like some reason to... Who's coming up in the order? Okay, he's up soon, and then the guy over there. What are my other options? If I move this way, can I get to that guy? No. Okay. Cool. That worked out quite well. This works okay. What does Guts do? Knockbacks, 2 spaces, that's not helpful. We'll just kill him. Krumer's in some trouble, but does not have the exertion required to break this guy the rest of the way. That's irritating. If he can get to... No, because that uses one more move. So we can get to there. Which means I don't think Krumer can escape. He's gonna get hurt pretty hard, but that's... Actually, no, that's fine. Well, actually... Well, Alet's already in the initiative order, so that doesn't matter. If he could get one space farther, I would have been happy, because he could have... could have really done some pain on... Huh, that was way less effective than I thought it was going to be. Okay. Nah, still can't kill him. Oh, he crit. That helps. Krumer's in a bad way, but it should still be okay, because Rook goes before... Nope, that's bad. Krumer's basically dead. Actually, scratch that, he is dead. Not really a big deal, though. Sadly, what is a bigger deal is this complete lack of protection for the lad. He has no renown left. That's good. That means I can back off to as far as I can and just slowly chip him down. I've really undersold exertion, which is bad for me. Oh my god. Ah, that was the riskiest thing on the planet. There's been so much meat for this grinder, and unfortunately a lot of them are doing quite badly. I can't actually see what his oomph is. Still 6. I think that's the better way of doing it. And he runs away, but not so dangerous. Okay, we finally won this fight. That was touch and go for a bit. Mostly because he hits so damn hard. We'll actually do this preemptively so we don't overflow, and Rook gets another kill. You know, let's be risky. Eva's in good shape, and Ale has plenty of will, so we can actually Still do okay. Though, we're not in a very good position, honestly. Let's see. 8 and 8. So... basically, if we don't set Ale or this guy here, then... well, 1 strength, 3 defense, I believe. And uses his morale, takes on though. What I'm hoping for here is that, well, we'll actually burn the last one there to guarantee he stays up. It doesn't guarantee he stays up. He dies anyway. That's alright. We'll do armor break chains here. And now, well, we'll mark prey for 1 here, which should get the kill. But oh boy, is this such a bad situation to be in. He has like no armor break to speak of. But maybe we can... no, that's bad for us, that hurts us. We'll armor break. And he's almost certainly dead. No, he just... oh boy. That was bad. Mention that I think I made a mistake. Cool, he did a stupid thing though. Which, stupid things are the only thing keeping me alive. I think doing this is super important. Hopefully, yeah, Rook gets to go, which... don't think matters, but I can maybe body block. Body block someone from away. Oh cool, so Ale dies, or Ekek dies, sorry. And we can slowly start breaking down this guy's strength. I've got no renown there, so we're actually going to need to... we're going to need to kill this guy to get some more oomph there, and dangerous situations. Mark prey, 4-2. 4-2. And kills. Nice. I just did trigger pillage, so that worked out okay. I don't like triggering pillage with one very strong guy, because it's basically just a guaranteed kill then. But hopefully I win. And with fewer casualties than I thought I would have. So I'm actually quite happy with how that went, all said and done. Three injuries, but I've got enough backup guys, and that 16 renown goes a long way. Oh right, we've met Faisal earlier with Haukon, and he came to find Krumer. So, we've made it through that fight, somehow. And Frostvellr is gone. Vognir's dead. More dead, more dead. Congratulations, we see that are like anti-Ragnarok. This is the worst Fimbulvetr ever. The absolute worst Fimbulvetr. And we see here, well, the closest parallel in Saga narratives to this is probably when people are absolute jerks and are refusing to sell their food, refusing to ally to people in the midst of a feud. But this is usually portrayed as just politics. Usually the person who gets more blame in food is not being selfish and hoarding your food is, well, let me start from the beginning there because I screwed that up horribly. Being selfish and hoarding your food is very bad. It's worse if you dishonorably take the food by force. You can honorably take the food by force, but there are dishonorable ways to do it, like stealing, burning, so on. But refusing to sell food, well, one of the classic things Saga characters do is take the food and then leave the payment you would have given. Which is kind of, it's very odd, because you pay for the food and you don't kill anyone, you usually don't hurt anyone, you just intimidate them into giving the food and maybe beat up a slave. And then you leave behind payment. And that inevitably causes a court case, which seems like it's more trouble than it's worth, unless the things are really, really desperate. Well, the Varl seem to all be arguing, though, as to whether the men are allowed. Uh-oh. Very big uh-oh. But we're in a cutscene now, so luckily we're not burning food. But yeah. Hey, look! At least the giant snake is right. I guess? This is the closest the music gets to the same kind of like drum-heavy chanting. But you can also hear there's some electric processing sounds behind it, which is how Asa Wintry, the composer, represented the Dredge, with a sound that's just utterly inappropriate in his mind, though obviously it for a regular orchestra, though obviously still is appropriate for a Norse aesthetic. And look, we see more runes. So 3 Harderborg. Borg is equivalent to Burg, like Edinburgh. So this is a very... It sounds like a place name. I know! We got a giant snake! It's great! It's also terrifying. Like, this is one explanation for the mysterious god we found at the bottom of the wastes. The Chaos Nymph, the serpent that's supposed to eat, or that's opposed to the sun, that is either killed or is in perpetual struggle with. That Godstone had a snake spiraling in, surrounding the spiral of the sun, which the spiral is a usual Bronze Age depiction of the sun in Scandinavia. This snake here, maybe that. Weird looking sun god though. But Haderborg. Fazolt still thinks they should not go. Einartoft is supposed to be forbidden to humans. And Fazolt doesn't seem to recognize either. Grimmer's about to set him straight though. And he is being a bro and is going to make sure that we all survive. Still's being mysterious though. Quite a nuisance. I wish we could take a look at this god's gay. We can. Varl coming to unpacked, and most of the chatter is about the quake. Yeah. What other news can we get? Solid. I should have inspected the gods done. I like that more than this. But Blood Red, Dredge is our main antagonist of this. It was just like this terrifying other entity. Not a whole lot here, really. Oh, there's also a wolf here. Heidelberg has a wolf, so it's vaguely Odinic, but also possibly if that wolf is supposed to be Fenrir, we've got a problem. Also, we got a new item. I do want to see what that item is. And we need a rest for a day. Too many injuries. Actually, everyone's doing okay now. What is this item? Okay. Ring of the Wolf, a ring engraved to Catherine of Veszprem. Veszprem. A gifted healer, she can preserve life in all but the most grievously wounded. Protects from death if your strength is greater than 1. That's a Polish name. Veszprem. That's SZ is English sh. That's Polish phonology, so that should probably be Katarina. Or Katerin. Yeah. My Slavic pronunciation is bad, but it's RZ, so Katarina. of Veszprem. So yeah, Polish name. There are actually very deep Slavic communities or Slavic contacts with Denmark. Saxo Grammaticus describes one case where some Slavic people along the North Polish coast wound up actually forcing the King of Denmark to pay them tribute, which is kind of cool. It's also one of the only descriptions of one of the Slavic gods. I cannot remember his name because I'm bad at my Slavic religion memories. Whoops. Let me see if I can't find that. What is it? Svato something? Not pattern, not streetwork, not... No. No. Nope, none of those. Do. No. I don't think it's pattern. That doesn't sound right. It's not Bellish. No. Oh, Svadovit. Svadovit, I believe, is the one that actually is the totem that's mentioned there. So that's quite helpful for us. But yeah, that's one instance of the contacts. Similarly, there's also been plenty of instances of reevaluating graves and seemingly to find Slavic or West Slavic peoples in graves in Sweden and Denmark. So there's definitely very deep contacts. Leszek Gardowa is one of the main academics doing that. I think he's in Bergen nowadays doing a postdoc, but I'm not entirely sure. But he's very much one of the people who, if you're interested in learning about that, check out the stuff he's written, because he's one of the experts on it, which is pretty cool. So, a little bit of contact there, a little bit, I don't think, of actually trying to, but actually referencing something that was very much prominent in the Viking Age. And obviously there was raiding along the North Polish and the Baltic coasts into Lithuania far earlier than Lindisfarne. We found there's an island off the coast of Lithuania, I think, that has graves seemingly from a raid where some Norse peoples were killed, seemingly on a raid dating to about 750. So quite a while prior to Lindisfarne, we're already seeing that. But yes, while to me as a player it's boring, Leandertaker, you're right. What else will you talk about when some mountains start sinking into the earth? Yeah, that's definitely also the main topic on everyone else's mind, with good reason. So, like, I'm not going to pretend that that's not a reasonable reaction. Well, I think this time we'll let them sell their own dispute. We don't have to get into... Actually, Never mind. We need the renown. We need the renown, so we're going to, okay. Fair enough. Hey, cool. We got the renown anyway. That's helpful. 30 renown's a pretty good place to be in at this point. We'll have plenty of chances to grind for it in a little while, but 3 straight days to cross the pass, which is no good. And Ivor does seem to be changing quite a lot. But let's take a look at that market, see where we're at. Good. We can stock up on food quite far. Huh, statue of a sightless man. That's big, but we can't afford that. Still will on unrest. -2 aggro there. Still, the more we have here, like, since there's so much available, we'll actually try and get up to 15 there. 15 days, better than we could fear or could hope, so we'll actually rest one, and we will level up someone, I think. I'm pretty sure Ail's dead, so I'm not going to bother leveling him up more, but maybe we upgrade Eke. He could use some more oomph here. Because yeah, unfortunately, unless I can kill off enough, I'm pretty sure Ail's gonna die in an event in about half an hour, which really sucks. He's one of my favorite units in the game, but yeah, he's super dead. So say la vie. GG, go next, etc. Oh, cool. Maybe it doesn't deplete our resources.
We approach a city that only Varl have seen and cross a bridge that only Varl could build. Let us hope that we are the only unwelcome visitors to pass.
By the way, that is the most Icelandic accent you could ever ask for. Which I love. I love that they got Icelanders to actually do the voice acting. But that is almost stereotypically like a mockery of an Icelandic accent, but I know it's completely right. But luckily, one advantage of this is all of our 2 parties, Haukon's group and Rook's group, are finally going to join each other, which means we have a lot more units and a lot more resources to work with. And development to Einartoft. It's been a long road to get here. Another great war is upon us. Well, we're stuck here. Aaron Rook seems to know who Ludin is, all the way from Arbor Ring. And we need to stay out of trouble. We're going to be here for a while, which is not great. We're exhausted and we're stuck here. So we're going to keep going and try and get out of this absolute hellhole. We have 10 days worth of food. And, well, that's actually a super strong thing. Obsidian powder is really good, but actually the studded pommel is a weaker version of that. But I think the world hook is definitely good. That doesn't even buy us another day, so we're not even going to bother. We're going to save the renown. Okay, let's equip things, because 2 more break on someone is going to be really strong against Dredge. Well, if Ivor can manage it, I think he's actually one of the best candidates. Though that crit chance is pretty huge too, when he's so strong. But still, I think he still definitely is. It's him or Rook. But that will per kill keeps him going with that exertion. So I think yeah, it's got to be Ivor. Make our person who's really good at breaking way better at breaking. Like, I need to level up his exertion next time a couple of times, but if I can do that, he's going to turn into an absolute powerhouse. But we're stuck here. No renown, so well, we gotta meet Jorundur now. There's Jorundur, he's in trouble. Mother and Haakon again. And there's our whole team. Break on a let is really strong too, because anything with range is good. But yeah, Rook would also be a great candidate for that for exactly the same reason. I may move that around depending on where things are. Or Life would be good, Alette would be good, Rook would be good, Ivor would be really good. This guy seems to not be doing so well though. He's bandaged up quite badly. The Sunder came through Grothan, which is no good. That big red Varl, or the big red Dredge, his name is Bellower. Well, Jorundur seems a lot more concerned about survival than he will later. And yeah, we've got a new problem. And Avender suggests this great idea of just break the bridge. Jorundur does not seem very pleased with that. The reason why Jörundur does not want to break down that bridge, well, is that the bridge is kind of the way the Varl will be remembered in his mind. And this is something that is incredibly Norse. It's absolutely incredibly Norse to do, because memory is everything. You know, actually, that's a way better. Leander, you're right. Putting the brake on Alette is better than a chance to dodge strength on her. And since they're the same rank, should absolutely use that. So we'll give Ivor his crit chance back. We do have a little bit of a problem here in that Eyvind. Oh, hey. I did not notice that. Eyvind, we get to customize a bit. So Eyvinder is a mender, which means he can do a few things. He's very, very good. He's got 2 abilities, which are already at max strength. So he can restore our armor to us, which is pretty good, equal to half current willpower. And then he can arc lightning also, which is guaranteed strength damage that if we line them up on diagonals is going to be absolutely crazy good. But it is by far the best idea that we just absolutely max his willpower. And we'll give him more exertion so that he can move to where he needs to be. But he's mostly going to sit in the backlines, so we're going to kind of balance him out a little bit, but he's not going to be doing armor breaking. He's going to be keeping our guys up. And yeah, we can't move him around. We're not going to worry about that. Although, I think I want Ale more than I want Ekek. Not sure on that, but I think so. But also, we should have a let go earlier. And yeah, Rook. Because a let with the extra break right now is probably good. And then she currently has 3 break. My question is whether I want to put in Oddleaf or Alette. I think maybe I put in Oddleaf instead. Give Alette a break. Give Oddleaf the fishhook. And now we go. But yeah, the same ethos of like monumental structures being a sign of memory is probably most clearly seen in Beowulf, which definitely counts as part of the Germanic tradition. One, two, three, four. Exertion can already hit from the beginning. I hate that Eyvinder has to go first. I probably should have checked that. If I could put him in a different position. Because, my god, I do not like him being in the front like that. Luckily, these guys are so far back, we may be able to take on the Stone Singer before things go bad. How to do this? 2, 3, 4. Who's up next? Someone in the back. Okay, the people in the back are up next. And Ivor doesn't have the exertion. Really, he only has 3 move. Why does he only have 3 move? Irritating. Well then, what we'll do is, I guess, run up here and use the low-level stone wall. And kind of play around Ale. Because 16, no one's going to be realistically able to break that. No, then I should be able to completely bust. Ah, that's annoying. I have to put her here, which is not what I wanted to put her. But that's okay. Well, actually, you know, we'll use Forge Ahead on her to jump her up in the initiative row. Because now she can back off to a better position. And that's why we'd need her to do that. Cool. I actually could have predicted that. Annoyingly, everybody's poisoned now. That's alright. That's life. We just have to play fast. I forgot that applied to everybody. Well, there's nothing good coming of this, because that's a chain, and no one's down a significant amount of armor. So Avon, I think, just rests. He only has 1 exertion, so he cannot kill, so instead we'll focus on break. But Krumer kills that guy, so that's no big deal. Okay. We're fine. Absolutely fine. That's kind of irritating, but you know, we can move first and then do it to get him into a better position to play the game later. Okay. We'll actually use this right away, so we can do full armor break, which should absolutely fuck up everyone else. And he's stuck, which is huge. This is actually going pretty well for us, even though I managed to get everybody poisoned somehow. So there's also, ooh, that's not good. We meant for half current, so 6 plus 1 heals back up to 14. I think we will put him here, so we can Stonewall, rank 1, and just kind of tank hits. Yeah. That went pretty good. He's gonna get hurt from this, but that's also okay. Are you also? No, you're just out of willpower. Okay. That's fine. Because that's enough to cause the chain reaction. I mean, I think I attacked whoever's up next. This is actually going quite well for me. I'm genuinely surprised. For a team where everyone's poisoned, this is about as well as I could expect it to go. Now, we will forge ahead on Rook, which means he should be able to get a activate Pillage better by screwing up this guy. Alright, Prey, 4-2. Oh, no, did not yet activate Pillage. Okay, not really a big deal. Hey, let me attack. There we go. Now we win. Evander did like nothing useful. And everyone else is fine. Okay, well, I'm shocked that went well. But I'm okay with it. I should get pretty good renown from it too. Ah, only 7. Okay. And Bellower. Get the Mender out of here and run. I'm trying to think, well, this kind of belief, I mean, we've got a couple of familiar references, which I really should get on making an emote of it. I'll do that at some point, in my spare time, But, you know, this kind of Bellower that instills terror, it shows up like a few times. I mean, the idea of Roarer is not that uncommon in Norse mythology, but I think one of the big examples is in Ragnar Saga Lothbrokar, when fighting against the Demon Cow Sybil. So we get more Demon Cow references. There's also Wed is also there. There's also like Fafnir's Ægishjálmur, which the Helm of Terror, that makes everyone so that no one can withstand him, even though Rayen says, nah, he's really not that. He's not that scary, he's just a big worm. But he has a helm. The Ægishjálmur makes it that no one can withstand him. So same kind of terror-inflicting status as Bellower is doing here. And Ivar, for some reason, is going to fight him. And Ivar is pretty good, right? Right? Yeah, we might be in a little trouble here. We want a very tall Dredge on the side. Lot of Varl on this side. Let's do it. I believe. How far can you move? How much exertion do you have? Exertion 2. Okay. So if you... Well. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. So back up. Back up 1, 2. I should be out of range. Cool, we get the first strike. Oh. Well, this went well. We get the second strike. We're not dead yet. We get the third strike. Okay, now we're dead. And yeah, Ivar just got his arm cut off, so we're... That went well. Honestly, did better than I normally do. Oh. Hey. Hi, Snake. Yeah, there's a Jormungandr equivalent. Oh, yeah. Ark of the Conclave. There is absolutely no way you win that fight. It's physically impossible. It's a snake. The Dredge seem to know the snake, so that's cool. And Ivar's not dead yet, which is great. Slowly. Even there's, yeah. For some reason decided not sleeping was a good idea, so yay. So, on that bright note, we're into the next chapter. We're going to keep going for a while. Your sight swims as if underwater, memories fly away like startled ravens before you can capture them. You remember who you are, you know. And a, snake. His statement there, "Yeah, Siamik," is, I think it's "I see me." Xia should be from Xiao, so to see, rather than from Vera. So, should be "I see me." Frustrating. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, they are over twice as tall as a person, and so if we assume twice as tall, twice as wide, that's like 8 times the amount of blood. So I don't know, maybe. But if the surgery, as which is what it is, first closes the main artery running into the arm, then there should be little enough blood that if you just pinch that one shut first, you should survive without bleeding out. So it would definitely be doable. I mean, 3-hour surgeries are still plenty possible in the present, then they survive that. And with magic, all things become more possible. I want to check, see if Sia shows up. So, yeah, should be from Xiao. S-I-S. Overshot. Let's see what Xiao. Xiao. Oh, this is all. This huge word. Yeah. It's "I see me" is what the Norse, the old Norse that was there says. Which is a juicy little tidbit of what the hell happened. If you're not going to die, I suppose you must speak instead. Valka. Yeah, yeah. Is the Latin, the Roman version of Hera, and so this is actually a very not Norse name. What everyone else has been, at least more or less plausible Norse names. I don't think anyone's named Ekik these days, but I do know that it used to be a name. So everyone else is named in a Norse way, and is very much not. But Valka seems to fill the role of Völva in this world, so the seeress. Is there no child coming to slay me with a magic sword? Obviously a reference to Fafnir, like the child, because Sigurður was still a child. He was like 15 when he kills Fafnir. And no stars in the sky? No. No. Look at our responses. Oh yeah, Wax is incredibly philosophical and seems a little bit disappointed that there's not prophecies foretelling his demise. I think I'm going to be snarky. This snake, well, Midgard's Ortmer does not intend to. It has to be a lot, but not quite everything. But something like this is almost more like Apophis than Jormungandr. But instead, a wall of night. Well, we'll not really see this for a long time yet, but there is in fact the never-expanding bit of darkness that would be bad. It's true, Leander, I would definitely be disappointed too. Like, I'm so famous. I'm supposed to eat everything. At least have the dignity to be properly scared. I know. It's just so hard in this world. Especially when something went wrong and you can't actually do the thing you were meant to do. It's so demoralizing when you lose your purpose and instead watch the embryo from which you are hatched destroy the world for you. Just terrible. Absolutely terrible. Wow. That didn't work the first time, though. I don't know why he thought it would work again. Even. Memories. Yeah, I like her design with the raven feathers here. It's very much like mostly Odinic. Also with the spear being another reference to Odin, which is very appropriate for a god, for someone who's supposed to have prophecy to be figuratively related to Odin, god who's constantly seeking them. And prophecies that don't exist. Woohoo! It was vague. Sounded like that serpent was supposed to swallow the world. Lovely. Just the most reassuring outcome thing you can hear a prophecy say. And I think this is the first hint we get that the Dredge are not all that they seemed, and not nearly as mindless other as they said. They at least have like animal instincts to run away from the far worse thing. And yeah, he's immortal. So on top of being related to the demon cow, we can't even suplex him like the demon cow. It's just Ivar and his people's elbow got chopped off, and so now we have no way to deal with this demon Dredge. I'll have to do this the hard way. So, we're going to try and escape Einartoft and get to Sigerholm, which will be fine, right? Right? Yeah, this is gonna go poorly. But we should be able to get enough renown to hopefully get enough supplies to make it to all the way there. I know, they're just so good at being reassuring in this world. Even with like Norse fatalism and laconic humor, this pushes it. Usually if you're dying, you at least get a witty one-liner to stick it to the person who either killed you or did you two up on the walls where you met your death. But like here we don't even get the dignity of that. It's just tragedy into tragedy. A couple of days. Which, this time period must really hurt to be in a coma for very long at all. Yeah. Well, Belwer, as the spear diver, is in trouble, and well, Håkon Luden and more Varls are harboring, so we are short-handed like hell. Oh yeah, I kinda got sidetracked there. I was talking about the Dredge and monumentalism. Like, obviously runestones are another way of being commemorated in memory, but Beowulf demonstrates the clearest example of wanting the importance of monuments in the Germanic tradition. The after Beowulf dies, they build a cairn on the sea and bury all the gold with him, so that all who sail past might remember Beowulf. Even long after he's gone and long after the Yetish people are gone, the idea is that he would live on through memory, and the structures built around him would live on as a reminder of the physical place. Similarly, like landscapes serve the same purpose, and things carved into the landscape serve that purpose. One of the ways it's been thought that they remember stories in the Icelandic oral tradition is by assigning place names to it and assigning stories to those place names. And so you have a story like Svinadalur that is, then you tell a story about some pigs that were there, and the pigs were driven into the lake by Ingimundur the Old in Vatsdalr. And that becomes part of the Vatsdalr saga. And so you can remember all these little stories through place names. And so the landscape itself, like in Irish myth, becomes really intimately tied to the stories and to people's memory of their past. And so Jörundur protecting that damned bridge is really, really accurate, and something that in an actual saga you would never question. You trying to blast it apart and alter the landscape, yes, but not destroy someone else's monument. Grettir Ásmundarson has a story where he threw some rocks into a river to dam it up, and the rocks are still there, they still have the names. So, altering the landscape, yes, but destroying a bridge like this would never be done. Absolutely never. Well, that kind of sums that up quite well. How well do you know history? We're from a very small town in the woods. So, yeah. The Blue Mother weaving the world into this tapestry. And the First War. Does that. And it's really hard to tell in this world how much time has passed. It's not like Genealogy of the Holy War, which we'll get to on Saturday, by the way, to where it's been this long ago thing our ancestors did was 100 years ago, was my great-grandfather. So this is not like that. This does seem to be genuinely old. Yeah, I guess, yeah, in some ways, like, opening a tomb specifically, like, is kind of the one exception to what I just said. Like, destroying landmarks is by opening tombs and raiding what's inside them, and killing the Draugr, or whatever revenant is guarding it. That is done. So opening up tombs, opening up grave mounds, as monumental as they are, is very much done, both historically and in sagas. Historically, the one at Yelling, at Royal Yelling, thought to be of Gorm the Old, or Harald Blåtå, or Bluetooth, says actually was opened up. I think it was Gorm the Old's burial mound. He buried him. Harald buried his father Gorm in this huge pagan burial mound, and 10 years later opened up the tomb and moved the body, we think, tradition says, into the church, but I don't think his body was ever found. Yeah, that is the difference. That opens a hole in the side so you can get in, but doesn't completely blow it to high hell. Yo. So we are now in the Third Great War. Yeah. So there's just apparently nothing. So, well, I think we will try and deal with this bloody bridge. Uh-huh. Automatic. Cool. Unfortunately, like if Sigurdholm's a week away, we'll have some problem with that. Well, still, though, I think we will leave it off here for the day. Rather than trying to sort out things. And try and deal with how bad things are going for us. I think we will hold off and we will take care of it all next time. The next stream is going to be next week, I think, of this. The next stream in general is going to be Wednesday, and the next stream of this is going to be next week, Monday. And we're just going to try and keep doing that until either I am forced to change that schedule, or until we finish this game. Take a look at where we're at here. Einartoft. And trying to enter Sigurdholm here, well, could be quite difficult. Could be very, very difficult. Yeah. Still, we're doing better than expected. But we're not dead yet. So yeah, this is where we leave off. So thank you guys for tuning in. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I will see everyone next time. Alright, bye bye. Hopefully that was enough time that this time it doesn't screw us over. Oh yeah, and as always I should mention, the VOD will go up on YouTube and will be available here. And if you guys like this, do consider subscribing. This is currently my only source of income, so if you want me to keep being able to do this more, showing me subscribing on YouTube and on here really does actually help me a lot. Obviously no pressure, but that is definitely something I would appreciate. And so yeah, I will see you guys on Wednesday. I'll let the stream run for like another 30 seconds so that this can try and catch up. But yeah. Well. We'll move the map here just to test and see how long it takes. Awesome, it's caught up